everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the pre-show as we are back in Studio A. It's a chilly night on a chilly week. But you know, it's all right. I was only home last night because of the film club, and it was a great time. Had a great time. It was there's like double the amount of people there that I've ever seen for book club, which hopefully we're going to be able to get that leveled out. I actually spoke with Stephen Jonathan today, who was confirmed he will be the co-host for the March book club, and I bought my copy of The Big Fisherman, so I should be all ready to go. It's the 18th day of February. Today is the official 19th anniversary of the first broadcast we did at WNVL and Manhattanville College in Purchase, New York, back in 2006. February 18th. Where's that? Oh, the picture is on the outside of the studio wall over there that Lauren made for us. February 18th. And we loved it so much, we made sure that when the spring semester ended, we were set up at home. And on Saturday night, it should be great because I'll have Anthony here, I'll have Mike here, and who knows who else. Maybe Jay Gullinello, just maybe the three of us. It's maybe the three Zanalza boys. And we'll be able to talk about 19 years, which is just very strange. It's very strange stuff. And, passage of time, that's always going to be... We talked a lot about time last night with dilation and interstellar and black holes and whatever the hell else. So, yeah, I'm always thinking about time. And that'll be a big theme for the rest of the week. But tonight, I made a mistake. Well, first it was a rescheduling. Last night, I was talking with Mel K. Mel and Roseanne were going to come on tonight to talk about Celebrity Encounters thread that we had made. I wanted to do a few other things. I figured, hey, that would be awesome to have Mel K and Roseanne Barr come on to talk about their best and worst celebrity encounters in all their time that they've worked in Hollywood, to go along with everything that you guys and gals have contributed to the show. But they had, they had dinner reservations at Mar-a-Lago. They were invited over there. So, well, isn't that special? But it's okay because next Tuesday, a week from tonight, we're going to have Mel and Roseanne stop in. Maybe even take a few calls from you guys since we have that all set up. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? And that's all good. So once that was out of the way, I had to sit down and write tonight's show. And what did Frank start doing? And didn't realize it until I got here because I'm in a complete daze. I wrote the show for tomorrow with Marley Hornick. And for most of the day, you probably saw that the scheduled episode was featuring Marley Hornick, formerly of the New York Citizens Audit, and now she's on to other things. And we're going to be talking about all the data that she has collected on the security, the integrity of American elections since the November election in 2024, which is going to really, we're going to bring that subject line up again especially for the person in the chat room last night that had brought it up, how nobody's talking about how reliable elections are at this point. Oh, no, the elections are very much a national security issue. When we talk about all of the factors that went into November 2024, too big to rig, and we're only really talking about one spot on the ballot, because remember, Senate seats were lost, that a month past Election Day, we were still hemorrhaging House seats in obvious bullshit elections in places like California and elsewhere. So it is still very much so a national security issue, and I can't wait to hear about all the data that's been collected since November. That's going to be part of tomorrow night's show when Marley joins us via Zoom. And perhaps you guys and gals can ask her some questions. So wouldn't that be fun? I think it will. Anyhow, that's what we got going on tomorrow night, and that is, so I guess the bigger question is, where does that leave us tonight? Well, I have some news, and I want to leave the lines open, and I just want to bullshit with you guys. I have some things I'd like to do, especially when we talk about the moral dilemmas. The moral dilemmas that we're facing in the United States right now. You know, we understand on this show, we kind of like stack priorities of what's going on, what's happening in the federal government. What should we expect? What should we hope for? And what can we really affect? Whether we go and, light up the phones and try to win the ear and motivate whatever members of Congress that we can actually get a hold of and light a fire under them. And then lower down the line, what do we do in our own lives? What are we doing where we are locally? How are we interacting with our town councils and our mayor's races and, our sheriffs, things like that? We talk about it all the time. And it's always good as Americans to keep it in front of the backdrop of American civic life, which by and large has been abandoned, mutated. We'll be talking a little bit more about that tonight because there's a lot of screaming from people out there who want to preserve the nation that was built on top of the mutated form of the republic. The money that we're seeing exposed all over the place, the people who are being laid off, and it needs to happen more and faster. But there's a lot of people who are upset about that. Of course, they think that they're approaching it from an American standpoint. They're not. It must be very tough for somebody to hear little old me on my podcast from New York insinuate that you may just not be American, even if you think you are. Oh, I'm sure you have your birth certificate. I'm sure you're a citizen. You may even have a social security number. Hopefully it's not a recycled one. But there's many people out there who see what's going on right now with DOGE, and they're saying this is un-American, this is fascist. No, you're just not. You were never raised to be an American. Many of us, especially the people who listen to this show, have taken it upon ourselves to learn more about what being an American traditionally is. That's just pretty much it, which is why there's very little to say outside of that's not the way it goes, my friends. It's just not the way it is. But those are a little, just only adds a little bit more to the moral dilemmas that we're facing, because it comes back to something else. While we manage our expectations with reform on the federal level and the international level, and when I say manage our expectations, I use that very loosely. And while we invest ourselves in ourselves, getting ourselves healthy, trying to separate ourselves from every facet of the system that we can, whether it be to get out of debt and to make ourselves more metabolically healthy. We'll be talking with Jay Gulanello on Thursday night. Who knows what the subject matter will be? We're always talking about that educationally, how to make ourselves separate from the system, healthier, and get ourselves a little bit more of an objective view of what's happening, 30,000-foot view. But then there's always the other thing, that we're surrounded by people who are warming more and more to being okay with people being detained, forcibly disarmed, children being taken, forcibly inoculated, killed. There are people that live around us that are warming ever more so to it may be okay, it may be necessary to start killing people. And they're finding reasons to rationalize that through their projections of what they conceive or perceive to be an imminent danger to themselves, which does not exist. And because they project imminent danger, it gives them rationalization for wanting to suggest that violence may be necessary to save the world from the Nazis that are apparently sprouting up like mushrooms after a summer rain. So that's the real thing here, because can you really share, no matter how much you beat them at the ballot box, and no matter how much you clean up the ballot box, and no matter how much social momentum you have, how much of their presence do you tolerate? How much of your, because it's one thing to say, I believe that we should provide all types of things for, I think we should reform government to the way that it centralizes a lot more power, and we should tax and spend a lot more, and we should go above and beyond what the Constitution recommends. We should do away with the Constitution or amend the Constitution, a new Bill of Rights. It's one thing for somebody to be a altruistic dreamer through and through. You want to take care, you're very maternal. You want to take care of the world. You want to fight everybody's wars. And it's one thing to be that creature. It's another thing to be bloodthirsty. And there is a bloodlust building out there. There is. There are people who are a little bit more meek about it, about their tyranny, a little bit more meek about it. But what do you do? Should people like that enjoy all the same rights as us? Should there be any barrier to the voting booth? I know very, very controversial things that we've brought up in the past. What do you do? What do you do when it has now been achieved culturally? The split has been achieved culturally that you now have different nations represented inside of one geographical space, and some idea needs to win out. But when ideas are equated to death, threats against life and limb, then what do you have there? What do you have there? I mean, I have more examples of this. We can talk about it. But it's just things that's been on my mind. And every once in a while, we get into a groove and we have a good time. Then we get reminded how real the disconnect is. And I'm fine. I'm fine with the outcomes that we had in November. But it hasn't woken very many more people up. Nobody still even endeavored to tell us what the hell happened with the 8.5 to 9.5 million votes that just disappeared. Oh, maybe we can talk about that with Marley tomorrow, no doubt about it. But still, these are some of the moral dilemmas. If you have any other ones that go through your mind, something that goes beyond the democratic process, that's what we're always talking about. The process of one person being represented, either by somebody in that republic model, or one person, one vote in a local election, or whatever the hell it is, but democratic processes. What does it mean after a while? What does it mean after a while? And can that really afford us what we need as far as a chilling effect to calm everybody down and sober them up? I don't know. I want to hear what you guys think, because I always wonder about that. Of course, I love learning about where we live and why it was set up the way it was. But I'm not going to fool myself into thinking that we can go back to the past. We were talking a lot about time travel last night with Interstellar. What's possible? What could, bending time, slowing it down? Can you reach into the past? Fifth dimensional travel and interactions and all that? We can't go back to 1943. We can't go back to 1872. We can't go back to 1830. We have to go forward, and we have to know perhaps what we want to fight for. That's what I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I don't know what's resonating with you, but maybe something pops up. I don't know. We'll see. I have plenty to do in the meantime and other things that I can sprinkle in so I can ask your opinions of it. And the call for it throughout the night is going to be 914-200-0269. It's 713. First thing up, I just want to give a little bit of a hat tip to Canine Hurricane. Who's that? Well, it's the most decorated dog in U.S. history, and that dog has died. Canine Hurricane, a 16-year-old Belgian, how do you even say this? Malinois? I know how we have a lot of great dog trainer friends out there that are going to tell me. Give me the phonetic pronunciation of this. This 16-year-old dog, who was the most decorated dog in U.S. history, has passed away. As much as we knew this time was coming, there was no way to prepare. We miss him so much. A huge hole can never be replaced. Former Special Operations Canine, the U.S. Secret Service, Canine Hurricane, became the nation's most decorated dog for taking down a White House intruder in 2014, when then-President Obama and his family were inside. Hurricane was medically retired in 2016 due to the injuries he sustained during the incident. The recognition of his valor, Hurricane received numerous honors, including the United States Secret Service Award for Merit, the Department of Homeland Security Award for Valor, the PDSA, that's People's Dispensary for Sick Animals Order of Merit, and American Medical Center Top Dog. He also made history as the first dog to receive the Animals in War and Peace Distinguished Service Medal, which earned him a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm sure he also got one hell of a bone. A couple of bones. Anyway, just wanted to say, Hurricane, Godspeed, my friend. Godspeed, doggy. That's just something you have to stop and respect the dogs every once in a while. We really don't deserve them. Sometimes we really don't deserve them. And here's another one for you. From Carlo Maria Vigano. Had a little something to say about the meeting between Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. At this historic moment when two great world leaders, Trump and Putin, are about to enter into a peace agreement for Ukraine, it is disconcerting, to say the least, to see what cynicism the European Union and NATO are trying to prevent the end of the conflict provoked by the globalist elite that maneuvers both. In the face of the obstinate determination to create death and destruction, and the shameful attempts to obstruct the peace process, we must express support for those who act in the interests of peace and openly condemn the actions of warmongers who are enslaved to Masonic globalism. And, it's true. It's true what's happening right now. A couple hours ago, we heard that I saw rumors that European nations are trying to cobble together $732 billion. $732 billion in additional aid to Ukraine. Nearly 2.5 times the total global support Ukraine had received since the war began. So, are they buying people? Are they sending robot soldiers? This is what I don't understand. So Europe seems to be really wanting to earn that Baba Vanga scorched earth vision of hers, where everything up to and including Berlin is just absolutely laid to waste through thermonuclear war. And Russia is left standing at the end of that vision, of course. But this is just incredible. And like Archbishop Vigano had said, the absolute maniacal nature of being so hell-bent on furthering and keeping the bloodshed going on the outskirts of what you believe is the outskirts of your continent. $732 billion. This is just a number that's been floated around. Whether it happens, whether it's the exact number, more, less, doesn't matter. There is an effort right now to put an end to this. And again, the new Soviet Union, NATO, wants to keep it going, wants to keep the death going. So just keeping that out there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Can't wait to start taking your calls and just mixing it up. It's an open lines kind of night. We've got guests all the rest of the week, enthralling topics indeed. So don't go anywhere. In fact, help share the show, whether it's live or on demand. I'd love to meet everybody you know. Be right back.
The coronavirus, we pray that it be dissolved with healing, with healing, with healing. Your cervix, your penis, your vagina, your buttocks, your colon. Go wash your hands.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rumble it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey, happy birthday. We've got two happy birthdays here. This one is from Corey. Corey says, Frank, my wife loves your show and listens to it regularly. Is it possible to do a birthday shout out on February 18th? Her name is Tanya. Tanya. Oh, Corey, I got you, man. Tanya, all the best to you. I'm so glad that you're hanging out with me, and I just hope that this February 18th is a wonderful one. It's a very special day for me too, Tanya. It's a very, very special day for me too. Like I said, 19 years since we stepped behind a microphone in this way for the first time. For the first time. Always behind microphones. Always on stages. Plays. Concerts. The band. Whatever the hell it is. But in this respect, it's been a nice run. Anyway, all the best to Tanya and to Corey. I hope you have a great night. Also, I want to do a tip of the cap to Shane. Shane in the YouTube chat. Shane's a bull, man. Always one of the first in that chat, greeting everyone and showing love. Really grateful for guys like Shane out there. And yes, it's time to... There's always time for one last kiss. Remember that from The Mask? Dorian? Anyhow. All right. We'll have a few things here for you I just wanted to throw up there, and then we'll just start opening up the lines. Like I said, 914-200-0269. This was interesting. An auto worker in Georgia at a Hyundai electric car plant reporting that ICE showed up and hundreds of workers ran away. I wonder why. Hundreds of workers at the ICE plant ran away. Now, this is in Spanish, so I will be reading it off to you. Here we go. All right. There are many in this plant with me. They are making electric cars, but today immigration came. And hundreds of people left. They just left. Some left running, jumping the fences. Here we are. My group is waiting to see what we do. Here the Americans are trying to protect the people who do not have documents, who think they do not have legal status, and they stopped our work today just to wait a little and see what happens, to then see if we return to work or not. All worried about us. Here, 89% of my group work. We are from Venezuela. They all have status to stay here, but they're still afraid of people. That's what's happened. Now, listen. I know he said right there, we all have work papers. Why are you running? So Hyundai did all of the they're compliant with the I-9 forms and all that stuff. Why are you running? I mean, there's no reason to run. There's absolutely no reason to run. Unless, of course, some of them 160-year-old Social Security numbers. I don't know. It's just crazy because, of course, you see things like this and you think about all the jobs Americans want. Oh, or all the jobs Americans don't want. Oh, the illegal aliens, they're coming. They're just dishwashers. They're ditch diggers. They're not doing anything we want. No. They're just using your great-grandfather's Social Security number so they can work at a nice, stable job at the car factory in Georgia. And then we just grab this one just to throw it on top because this is from 2022, not too far ago. Here it is. Remember this from Reuters? Child workers found throughout Hyundai again, supply chain in Alabama. Children worked for at least 4 Alabama parts suppliers to Hyundai and Kia in recent years, Reuters found. Staffing agencies placed migrant minors in plants where regulations ban kids from working. State and federal authorities are investigating. I'm sure they filled out their I-9 papers as well, and everything was on the up and up. So you just see this, and I hope that the rate is kicked up. Kick it up. It's not happening fast enough. It's not happening fast enough. It has to be complete mobilization, and I know that the financial end of this is going to be big, because all of these millions, if not billions, of dollars that are earmarked for one innocuous or seemingly benign reason or another, albeit unconstitutional. Are probably going to things like services for people who shouldn't be here. It's moved around. It's circulated in all types of ways. So this is what we have, but there's other interesting things happening on the DOGE front, which we're obviously going to be watching very, very closely over the course of the next year, because it all expires in July of next year. Listen to this. Between James Fishback and Elon Musk. James Fishback says President Trump and Elon Musk should announce a DOGE dividend, a tax refund check sent to every taxpayer, funded exclusively with a portion of the total savings delivered by DOGE. Elon says, I will check with the president. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, I'll definitely take some. I want all of my money back. I want all of it back. I want all the Social Security that I paid in to the, you know exactly how much I paid in. I want it all back. It's not going to be there for me. Oh, it's got to go. I'm fine. I'm fine with our generation being the ones that miss out. Give me all my money. I still got a few decades of working and working well. Just let me have my money. That's all I care about. Okay? You squandered everybody else's. You squandered whatever the hell, what little I've been able to give over the years compared to other people. But damn, man. Yeah. Give us a nice little dividend. Cut us a check. And then shut it all down. Shut it all down. What else do we have here? A little bit more from the official DOGE account. This was from yesterday. The Treasury Access Symbol, TAS, is an identification code linking a Treasury payment to a budget line item, standard financial process. In the federal government, the TAS field was optional for about $4.7 trillion in payments and was often left blank, making traceability almost impossible. As of Saturday, this is now a required field, increasing insight into where money is actually going. Thanks to U.S. Treasury for the great work. Is there any liberal who may be putting themselves through the torture of watching me tonight who can call up and say, that's a bad thing? Is there anybody? You can call in. Call in. Is there anybody that can tell me that that is a bad thing? At $4.7 trillion in payments that is otherwise untraceable now has to require to be tagged. Is that a bad? Can anybody tell me? I'll get somebody complaining about it. I'll get somebody. Can you imagine the dividend for $4.7 trillion? That actually might be a couple $100 each. Maybe. Could be. Wouldn't it be? Because you think about all the, anyway, who knows? Who knows? Once you get all the people off the rolls, we'll see. But there's more on that end. Let's see. 914-200-0269. I'm throwing this out there. I want to see where you guys are at tonight. It's a Tuesday in February, and it's just you and I. We're going to get together and have a good time. That's all I want to do tonight, and that's all we're set up for. So whenever you call in, good on you. Now, I have a question that already came in. Frank, a chat comment about elections got me thinking. This is from Stan the Man. Stan the Man. Frank, a chat comment about elections got me thinking about it again and how little time we are dealing with. Trump needs to be dropping Moabs. So I guess that's a chat comment from last night. I mean, it's the only one that I picked up out of the room and we started talking about it a little bit. I mean, I guess he'll do whatever. Yeah, he'll do his thing, whatever that is. And we should stay on top of motivating, like I said, any members of Congress that we need. But we need to drop our own Moabs. We need to. We have to. You know, we have to take care of our own business at home, like I said in the opening, while always preparing for what the orc army has coming next. I hate to say this, but when we talk about moral dilemmas, the left really does not fear the normie conservative libertarian movement. I mean, a lot of people that outside of that leftist bubble, they see logic. They see logic and the nobility in things like following the rules. And the left abhors rules. They hate it. They hate it. It's a hindrance on everything else. So I mean, as we've seen in the last 4 years alone, they're open to internment camps. They're open to forced inoculations. They're open to forcibly disarming people, taking your children. We learned a lot about CPS over the last couple of years. It's terrible. We saw what was going on, what really is going on inside of public schools. It makes whatever you can say about Catholic schools pale in comparison. But most of us get squeamish about things. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's take a phone call first. 570, you're the first on tonight. Welcome.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, who's this?
This is Derek from Pennsylvania again.
Hello, Derek.
All I wanted to say was that all the people complaining about Elon Musk doing all the things he's doing should not get a cut of the savings.
You're right. They're not getting their dividend check.
So use Grok to track them, and we'll get more shares for everyone else.
That's it. If you are a liberal, you want to call in tonight and you want to surrender your dividend check from whatever may be remitted in the coming months and years, please just let me know. I'll put it on the record, and we'll claim it. I'll spread it out amongst the audience. Everybody gets a penny each.
There you go.
Well, there you go. Well, thanks for the call. Anything else you have?
That's all I got, man.
All right, Derek. Have a good one, man. Thanks a lot. It's open to all of you guys. Hold on. Jay Britz just said, Frank, it's pronounced Belgian Malinois. Malinois. Got you. 512, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to touch on the people with the fake social security numbers and how they are getting around this system. According to a friend of
Sure.
mine,
Okay. Hold on, miss. Hold on, ma'am. Can you please take me off a speakerphone? Or are you in a car?
I'm in the car.
And you're driving?
Sure.
Okay. As long as your hands. Okay. If you're okay. If you got to stay hands free, then I'll put up with it. If you have to stay hands free, go ahead.
Okay, so he says that it's temp agencies that are milling these people with fake social security numbers, and then the temp agency just folds, and so that's how they avoid the liability, and how these companies are using all of these like construction workers that don't have real social security numbers.
So you're telling me that we have a system where essentially pop-up temp agencies are they're assembled for certain hiring for certain projects, and then they just fold once a project let's say one construction company in the middle of the country somewhere. There's a construction project in the middle of the country. There will be a temp agency that will pop up just to be able to get people on that construction site. They will do whatever the hell they have to do and then just close up shop afterwards and disappear.
Well, they don't disappear. Just open a new temp agency.
That still wouldn't that still leave behind a pretty easy to trace paper trail of, the people that are involved in the temp agencies and the operation they're running, and how it's all meant to evade real legal compliance on work sites and stuff like that? It still seems like a very risky business to be in.
Well, apparently it's not in Texas, and that's a huge hole that we have to get closed this legislative session. Wow.
Well, there you have it. And again, thank you for saying that last comment there too. It's a hole that needs to be closed in this legislative session, because this there has to be something that is just welded into place at this point. It cannot be by executive fiat all the way through.
Exactly. Yes, it is something that we have to get into, if state by state if necessary, but it shouldn't even take that.
So are you guys of the belief, because obviously you know a lot about this, you're talking about temp agencies, and I haven't even considered that until your call, but are you of the belief that many of the Social Security numbers that are being offered to these temp agencies to get these placements on these job sites are all are linked back to some of these tens of millions of Social Security numbers that DOGE just found the other day?
Well, I got to believe that there's some of it. Maybe it's not the bulk of it, but it's got to be some of it. Yes.
You mean sometimes they're just generating a 9-digit number, or how many it is, or a 10-digit number? It doesn't matter what they.
Absolutely, yes. They have some way to farm these numbers, and then they are using that to put these people on a payroll, and that's the way that these legitimate businesses, that's how they avoid the prosecution, is that the liability is on the temp agency, and then the temp agency just folds, and then, oh, I make a new one, oh, I make a new one, oh, I make a new one, and that's just how they do it.
I just can't believe that an organization. I can see if you're a small to mid-sized construction company or something, you're some contractor in the middle of Oklahoma, and you know you're getting killed by the big guys. You need to find a break somehow, and you just want to bring in some cheap labor to keep yourself afloat. I understand the reasoning. If this is the way that the whole world is being worked, I mean, you got to survive. I understand why somebody would do that. But at the same time, when I think about Hyundai, when I think about a major car manufacturer, that seems like are they going into that willingly, or is somebody pulling the wool over Hyundai's eyes? Do you believe?
Well, I don't know about like a Hyundai type situation, but yeah, I'm talking about like construction sites, these just manual labor, and just kind of, they can be a fly by night situation. I mean, you can, it takes nothing to open a new business.
Well, you know, that Reuters article that I read just a little while ago from Alabama and all around those Gulf states over there, Hyundai and Kia seemed like they were pretty appalled. At least you'd have to imagine from a public relations standpoint, you've got to be appalled that there were underage migrants that were being employed at these plants down south. So perhaps there are local considerations and other, fairly autonomous people or groups that are actually staffing these operations on behalf of bigger parent companies like Hyundai. I don't know. It just seems like something very, very risky for them to get involved with knowingly.
Yeah, honestly, I was listening to last night's show, and I just thought about this, and I just said, oh, I'm going to try and call, because I usually don't get through. So I didn't hear that Reuters article, so I missed that. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's earlier on in this show tonight. It was from 2022. And I picked it up because it was, again, had something to do with Hyundai, who's, they just had all these people run off the job site in Georgia. And in 2022, they not only had non-citizen workers found at their plants, but they were also minors. So it was, it's great. It's great. They already have a little bit of a reputation there. So I'm just wondering, is it somebody doing it to them, or are they in the know?
No, it's plausible deniability for sure. Look into the temp agencies. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for all that. That's some good information there.
All right. Good night.
Good night. All right. What do you know about that? I know a little something more now. Temp agencies. What were we going to do? Let's take a call. 603, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Frankie flipping four fingers. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm from New Hampshire. My name is Zach. And I got brought onto your show from our man Jim Lee.
Oh, well, Jim Lee is a fantastic guy, and I'm glad that we have a mutual friend. So what's on your mind tonight?
Well, I'm calling in posing as a liberal.
Okay.
I'm really not one, but I had an idea of how this could be possibly a negative effect on the U.S. So I figured I'd share my thoughts.
Please do so. And am I in a car phone or something like that? Can you take me off a speakerphone?
Yeah, is it poor?
It's just a little bit boomy. But again, if you have to be hands-free, I understand that. But
I'm pulled over.
Okay, no. Just keep going. How is this $4.7 trillion having to be properly tagged possibly a bad thing? Go ahead, honorary liberal.
Very little. So if you look at it as a perspective of our man Jim Lee, a lot of that black budget is going to electronic warfare, and that's all wicked classified. You can't get anybody to tell anybody about any of it. So if China or another country or like Iran, I think is coming in on it. Saudi Arabia is definitely in on it. You got all these countries who have electronic warfare abilities now. So if we were to hinder that funding, it could set us back. I mean, Russia definitely. They were the ones who started it with the woodpecker.
Oh,
so
yes.
I'm just putting it out there. This is a maybe an avenue of thought that it could be a bad thing. But you asked, and my mind started working, and it came up with something.
Yeah. No, you know what? Hey, it's logical. It's logical, and I'll accept it.
All right. Cool, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Can continue.
I'm honored that I was able to reach you, just because like I've been watching your show now for I think 3, 4, 5 years.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not an OG, but I've been around, and I've called in a few times. But you're pretty popular, so what can I say?
Well, listen, you know what? At this point, if you knew this show when I wasn't a father, you're pretty OG. So that,
oh yeah,
that's like BC and AD for me at this point, and I just don't I don't know. I think everything just comes down to year zero. That's 2020. So thanks for the call.
Yeah.
Do it more often, man. This is I like getting more callers from live free or die state out there.
Hell yeah, bro. All right. Well, cool. Yeah, save my number. I'll call in anytime you need some weird abstract thoughts on something.
Oh well, I mean that's the lifeblood of the show. So you don't need an invite, just do it. Just do it. We can't categorize this $4.7 trillion. Do you know how many secret military and covert war budgets would be exposed? We need it. No, what you need to do is declare war on somebody and stop this elevated state of emergency. We're fighting everybody all at one time, and everybody. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. I know he was going through the motions there and trying to find a reason why somebody would say that was a bad thing. And I'm sure somebody out there would, because there are some national security state bootlickers out there that would go to the beyond to justify this. All right, let's take it. We got an international line number over here. What's going on, international caller? Hello? Hello? We almost did it. They'll try again. We'll see what happens there. All right. One more time. Hello? Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah. Hey, Frank.
Hey.
Is that you?
Yes, it is. Is this you?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I got a couple things here I wanted to say. I had to make a couple notes.
Okay.
I want to thank.
Who are we talking to? Who are we talking to right now?
Excuse me?
And who are we speaking with right now?
Oh, my name's John.
Welcome, John. And you're overseas right now?
No, I'm in Mexico for the winter.
Oh, okay. So you're not in the country. Anyway, how's everything going? And go ahead with your comment.
Yeah, everything's great. The weather's great down here. Much better than up north.
Yeah, I know.
You guys are freezing. Anyhow, I had a couple things. I wanted to thank you for shutting down the mental illness from New Jersey last night.
Oh, God.
Man, they got some mental illness over there.
I know.
God dang.
That was.
And
yeah.
The other thing is, you will not be able to do it in pennies. You'll have to give everybody a nickel.
A nickel.
We've discontinued pennies.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the pennies that are discontinued. They're going to be collector's items.
There you go, man.
My gosh. Well, that's it.
So the penny, collect the gold.
Yeah, I know. Hey, you wouldn't happen to know the actual value, the copper melt value that's in every penny right now? Because I can't imagine it's even. I don't know. I guess.
I'm not sure what I think it's well more than 3 cents. It's costing us to make pennies about 3.4 cents to make 1 penny.
Let me see.
Melt value is probably around 3 cents. I'm not quite sure.
Okay, the core of a penny. The core of a penny is 97.5% zinc. The outer layer is plated with copper, making up 2.5% of the coin's composition. So there you go.
Yeah, and if you go back, there's some of the older pennies have even more copper in it. So some of them are even worth more.
Yes, no doubt about it. From 1909 to 1942, the penny was 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. From 44 to 81.
For 1 year.
I think it was
for 1 year.
1917
or 43. They made a silver, not a silver penny.
A lead one or something like that?
Yeah, it was the only one that wasn't copper.
It was during the war.
In the 40s or 50s.
Oh, hold on. Penny material during World War II. It might have been World War I as well. Why do I feel like it was a 1919?
I swear it was the 40s, right after World War II. They made it wasn't silver, but it was silver colored.
They
only made it in the 1 year, I think. I think 42 or 43.
Well, yeah, I have something on it right over here. Thank you for the call, sir, and I hope you all is well down there in sunny Mexico.
Hey, thanks a lot, Frank. Have a great evening.
You too.
Take care to everybody.
Take care. During World War II, the composition of the U.S. penny was altered due to the need for copper in the war effort. Here's how the material of the penny changed. Remember, during that time, and they depicted this in The Godfather as well, how many of the bumpers on a lot of American cars were switched over to wood because they needed all that steel and stuff like that. The steel pennies, commonly known as steel cents or steel war penny. I said iron. What did I say? Lead? Yeah, it was steel. 1943, but I feel like there was a steel penny somewhere around World War I as well. That was in 1943, commonly referred to as the steel pennies. In 43, due to they went to steel coated with zinc, and the composition has been in use since 1982. What we have right now has been in use since 1982. 97.5% zinc with copper plating. So there's that. I would love to do a show where we can talk about rare coins and rare things. They're very interesting to me, and there's a lot of great channels out there. People who can talk about the rarest coins in the United States, the most common rare coins that pass by us that you may never know about. Oh, there's plenty to talk about. Let's see. 914, we got a home slice here. What's going on?
Hey, is this Quite Frankly?
It is. Is this somebody from Westchester?
Yeah.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm also Frank.
Oh, really? So we got the Franks, have got the convening of the Franks from Westchester. There's only a couple of us here, you know.
Am I on air, or is this like the call guy?
No, it's the call guy.
Oh, okay, because I'm like, you kind of sound like Frank.
I know, but just a little bit more high pitch, right?
Yeah, a tiny bit, yeah.
All right, hold on one second. Let me get him. Caller,
you're on the air. Do I sound nice and deep for you?
Frank?
Wait, no, you don't. You don't sound deep at all. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm trying to bottom out for you over here, Frank. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So, you know what, man? I'm thinking this 20 plus years I've been paying into Social Security. I'm like, wow, I kind of want that back in interest also.
Me too.
Because when you think about it, it's kind of like, hey, you know, like they're taking probably like $120 to like $300 out of each paycheck in Social Security. I could at least throw that money into some kind of investment and actually live off of that money instead of getting $700 a month which my boomer mom is getting from working for like 50 plus years.
I know. There's dude, listen, and I'm sure there's everybody out there in the chat rooms and all that are thinking the same thing when they listen to their parents and their grandparents talk about, if you had other lines of work, if you had a pension from whatever job you had there, but listening to some of our family members talk about the limited hand-to-mouth budgets that they're on right now because Social Security, which was supposed to be the great equalizer and how the government loved us so much they're going to help us plan for retirement, it is the scariest thing to listen to. And I want it. Just give me the money and let me either screw it all off myself or do something better with it, because the government's not doing anything good with it.
No, it's like basically, fucking my wife is a freaking scientist, like a legit scientist, and we live in Westchester. We're still renting. We have a baby. It's kind of like, oh my god, it's like a medical bill. It's kind of like, oh shit, okay, then we gotta, do we have to hold off like on a car? Do we have to hold off on the electric? Do we have to make a payment plan with these freaking hospitals, which let anybody who's not from this country go in, not leave any kind of address, not leave any kind of social security number to collect money from them. It was pretty much passes the cost back onto us.
Yeah, I know. Hey, listen, it doesn't get any more comforting to think about. That's why I hope that there's something that is really going to be a massive shift in paradigm here. And obviously, when you have our parents' generation, that boomer generation, and whatever else, you can't just pull this off and take it all away. There's got to be some kind of a sunset clause. Generation Z, the Z, what is it?
I think it's Z and then it's Alpha. Like my kid's Alpha. Hopefully, she doesn't have to deal with this kind of like theft.
No,
on a, I guess, like an institutional kind of level.
I wouldn't mind.
They have going
I wouldn't mind taking. I wouldn't mind taking half of the millennial, my half. I think because I'm more on the younger side of that. Or is it toward the back end?
What are you? Like, I'm 88. So what are you?
I'm 85. So I'm
okay. So we're basically the same, almost practically.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind if I can just get my money back. I wouldn't care about, am I going to have Social Security? I never really expected it to be there. And there's always somebody trying to patch this thing together like a Frankenstein again and reanimate the corpse. But when it comes to Gen Z and Alpha, we should tell them right off the bat, you're not going to be taxed for this anymore. You're young enough where you really haven't put that much in. I understand that Gen Z is already in the workforce and maybe they get a little bit of a rebate as well, but they have time to recover. You should tell them right off the bat, you're not getting Social Security. We're going to take care of our parents and grandparents, and that's it. We can't do this anymore.
Yeah, like you see this protest, like I saw like in New York City. It's like you see some young people saying like, "Oh, they take section of Social Security." I'm like, you're not seeing that. I'm like, how have you not come to terms that you're not gonna ever be like, you're never gonna retire at the age to actually collect that money, and what you're gonna collect after inflation is gonna be like you're gonna be able to buy like a gallon of milk a month for it. It's worthless when you're able to collect it.
Well, hey, listen, Frank,
absolutely worthless.
It's always good to talk to a home slice, Frank. Thanks for calling in. Hey, how did you find the show?
I don't know, like a few years ago during the COVID thing, I think I actually know Frank Pellegrino and Chrissy Mayer, and I heard them on your show too.
Well, they're great. They're great.
I've seen Chrissy a few times, so like, and I'm like, oh wow, like a local. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right, well, cheers to that. It's good to know you're out there, my man. I never really have an accounting of anybody who's actually knows that this is going on in their backyard. But thank you so much for the call, bro.
Oh, thank you. All right. Have a good one.
Take care. Yeah, do you want to talk about the COVID fiasco? It's very obvious to me. Listen, your past employers, they hate paying your pensions. They hate paying your pensions. I'm sure they don't wish any harm on anybody. But the day that you come off the books, that we all come off the books. The people who have to manage us into our old age are very happy that we're gone. Okay, so that's crazy. And again, like I said, who knows how well, if they actually cared about doing right by American citizens. It's not constitutional, but let's say at least this was all being done in the name of genuine love of American citizens. To think about the $1 trillion, nearly $1 trillion that has been found that can come right off the top. Nice little haircut. Nice little haircut. Boy, oh boy. That would be something else. 585, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank.
Hey.
How are you doing? This is Craig.
Oh, it's good to hear from you, Craig.
Rochester, New York, where it's really freaking cold.
I was going to say, Rochester must be, that's like 6.5, 7 hours north, west of where I am right now. And gosh, I mean, with the wind chill, we were in the teens again today. But
we were -5 today with wind chill. Yeah, I can't. I'm going to St. Croix next week. I wish I was going this freaking week.
I would just start walking. Just go now.
Yeah, I'll swim once I get to Florida.
That's it. So what's
the pennies you were talking about? It's interesting. I collect coins or whatever. The 1909 SVDB, that's the real rare penny that you want to get your hands on if you could.
SVDB.
They only made 484,000 of them as the San Francisco Mint.
Let me see.
If you get one in good condition, it's worth $800.
I have on the screen right now on Etsy. Is this real? It's $51.84. It's not that bad. I mean, it's $51 for a penny. That's still quite a bit. So
what kind of condition is that in?
I don't know. Tell me a little bit about it. What's so special about this 1909 S Lincoln VDB?
There was only 484,000 of them made in San Francisco, which is not a lot to be printed. That's what makes it rare. I never got one of those. I collected all the pennies, and that was the one that was missing from my collection. That's interesting what you just brought up, though. What kind of condition is that in?
Here, listen to this. It says the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent is one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatics. This coin is minted in San Francisco and features the designer's initials VDB on the reverse, making it
the back.
Making a rare limited edition piece. Its historical significance and unique design make it a sought-after collector's item. Don't miss your chance to own this iconic symbol of American coinage. Okay, so let me look at the back. Maybe there it is. I always love that.
Really makes me wonder whether you could get that for $51.
Yeah.
What kind of shape that's in?
It's Etsy, so
curious.
I don't know. Is it maybe it's a
well, if you look at that coin, the wheat ears are good because that's the way you tell. Look at the wheat ears. You can see the detail at the top of them.
Yep.
That's what rates whether it's good or excellent or whatever.
That looks big.
I can't believe that's $51. That just blows my mind. I almost think it's fake.
It could be. I don't know. I just wanted to see what it looked like and why the hell it's is out there.
Really.
Why? How much did you pay for it? Do you have one? How much did you pay?
No,
for it?
I don't have one. I never got one. I collected it. My grandfather used to give me all kinds of coins and stuff. And
wait a second. Wait a second. It has to be a replica. It has to be.
There you go. There you go. That explains a lot.
No, because I'm looking at a 1909 VDB on eBay. That is $60,000.
Okay.
Is this more in line with what you are used to?
Well, I don't think. So I looked up. It said uncirculated 1909 SVDB you could get for $1,400. So that may not be even true anymore. But the one on eBay, does it say what condition is it in?
It's used. I don't know. The condition is. Let me see. I don't know. I mean, it looks a little bit rough around the edges. Here's another one from eBay. It is a 1909 SVDB, Lincoln Cent wheat reverse, finest known. It almost looks mint, and it's being listed for $120,000.
Okay, I don't even know if they made any of them mint condition. What mint condition means is no human hand has ever touched the coin.
Compared to everything I just saw, it is shining closest to mint I have seen. It looks pretty.
That's a little crazy. I wouldn't pay $120,000 even if I had $50 million.
Yeah,
wow, wow, look at that.
Hey, listen, go.
That's impressive.
Go apply for a government grant. You can go buy one. Say that you're trying to preserve. You're in the business of preserving historical artifacts, and you need $120,000 to buy a penny.
Hey, one more thing before we go. Switch subjects here. What do you think about the 10 million people that are over 120 years old that can apply for freaking Social Security?
Oh, that's
you see that?
Yeah, that's what we talked about that last night, and it's kind of been referenced tonight a couple of times. It's
same.
It doesn't make me. It doesn't surprise me at all. And
I love my wife. We've been married for 38 years. But she's a bleeding liberal or whatever. And when I hear her up there, she watches The View. God bless her. Don't even ask how we're together. I just love her to death. But she says, "Oh, they're going to take away your Social Security," so I had to get that little zinger in. It's like, wow, did you see the 10 million people that are over 120 years old that could possibly be collecting Social Security? And so she had nothing to say for that. But.
I mean, it's just you can't find. They're working overtime. They're working overtime to make people like your wife upset. Upset about things that are if the way that things are right now stay in place, there is no benefit to us. And if they are shaken up, that is the only way that we're going to be able to get a true lay of the land. And if we only just watched, I mean, there's so many red pills right now for anybody. When you see that there is about $1 trillion being paid out every year to people who are apparently immortal, it's mind blowing. So anyway, all the best to you and your wife, and let me know how St. Croix is. And thanks for the call.
Hey, I don't know if you store numbers in your phone thing or whatever.
I can't on Zoom.
Store me.
Unfortunately on Zoom I cannot. It is not intelligent like that. I've
called in a couple times or whatever. I love your show.
Well, I love getting the calls. I remember the Rochester calls. Keep it up, and you'll get through if you just keep trying. Everybody gets through.
Oh yeah, it's great.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, Frank. Have a great night.
See you later.
Stay warm, man.
Yeah, you too. -5. And that's nothing compared to all you people out there in Minnesota. All right, 8:03. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a lot of fun. I promise you.
Quite frankly, he's amazing.
Proof coins. I don't see any Rumble rants, and I had to do the only reason why I say that is because I had to do a reload, and those gets lost. I don't know. Rumble's gotten better with archiving those rants. I don't know. If you sent me a rant prior to right now, I don't see it. So email me with what you said, and I'll make sure I read it on the air tomorrow. I'll just take your word for it. Okay, Sean Joe, thank you. C. Blanche, thank you for the cookie. Rook Castle says, I'm ready to collect my Trump bucks. It's my bucks. It's your bucks. Sean Joe, thank you again. Doug Simi, Porpoiseful, and C. Blanche. You want to talk about Trump bucks? Take a listen to this before I get to some other things. Here's 4 minutes. 4 minutes of Trump going on with more spending. I'm glad that it's all about identifying the money. I'm glad that this is what we have been completely hyper-focused on. With other things going on too. Finally moving and shaking with Putin and Ukraine, and there's a lot happening right now. But I'm glad that this right here is a central focus, not because for many equally important reasons. It's being done in our name. We have been screwed for so long. And, of course, this is really the lifeblood of whatever you want to call it, deep state, the shadow state, the parallel government, I don't know. It's everything.
Where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second. $520 million for a consultant on the environment. It's called Environmental, Social, and Governance. Investments in Africa and mobilize private sector resources. $520 million. Somebody got $520 million for an environmental, sounds like an environmental study. I've always been one that paid a lot of money for my environmental studies, but I paid like $50,000, not $520 million. $520 million for ESG. $25 million to promote biodiversity, conservation, and promote licit livelihoods by developing socially responsible behavior in the country of Colombia. Well, it's nice. $25 million to go into.
I'm so happy. So aren't you happy that we sent $25 million to make sure that Colombia is biodiverse? I can hear the gimps. Well, $25 million spread across, whoever's paying. I was going to say 300 million, but nowhere near 300 million pay taxes. How many people actually pay taxes? I keep forgetting. Let's get that. I want to get this in. I want to do this. How many taxpayers in the United States? I'm going to see if Grok 3 has anything good to say. It should be under 100. No. Really? As high as 163 million tax? That sounds very high. But $25 million across 163 million people, I guess somebody would say. If you're going to use this number, which I don't know. Sounds very high. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it costs everybody a half a penny each. Doesn't matter. No authority for that.
Colombia for something that nobody ever heard of. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. $40 million. $42 million.
Wait, $40 million to improve in social inclusion and sedentary migrants? That means people who have been trafficked here one way or another, either by the host country ringing the dinner bell because they want to supplant and replace all their native population, or whatever the hell else. They get here and they're sedentary. There's many of you out there who worked many, many years to earn the right to be sedentary. You just get here and we have to put millions of dollars into making you feel included? What? I didn't even hear that one the first time around.
For Johns Hopkins, great place to research and drive social and behavior change in Uganda. 42 million. What about us? What about social change in our country? $70 million for a center at Purdue to research university-sourced, evidence-based solutions to developmental challenges. I mean, these are massive numbers on things that nobody ever heard about.
And the best thing is that if you want to promote social change in this country, all you got to do is make the money go away. Make it go away. That's it. That's the reason why people are nuts. Why people are nuts. The reason why kids are taking pee-pees, doing pee-pee in cat litters. That's why. If the money it doesn't have to be redirected into something that we approve of. That is something even that is even objectively all-American. It doesn't have to be. It has to go away. We will heal. Nature will heal. All right? We will go back to two genders right off the bat.
$10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcisions. $10 million for circumcisions in another country. $9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills. In other words, let's teach them something about enterprise. What about our people? Can't we teach them about enterprise? $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia. $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, which is a very liberal group of people.
Yeah, see, what we're talking about, at least in one respect tonight, we're talking about moral dilemmas in America these days. There's no dilemma here. There's no dilemma here. None. All gone. Has to. I got another super chat over here. This is Frank. This is from Timothy. Frank, bravo with your call from the guy from New Jersey last night. The second compliment, thank you. Listen, the guy from New Jersey last night is I actually wish I was a little bit more composed, because it's not every day that we get a caller that far out on the other side. But the pedantic, passive-aggressive shtick got old real fast. Well, I see it too much. I've been subject to it too much, and I can't be polite anymore with shit like that. If you're curious, you want to talk to each other, then that's fine. I actually would love to have a lot more people call in and be reasonable with one another. But I'm sick and tired of the moral superiority act on every issue. You know what it is? Like all things, liberals especially, from an economic angle, they assume perfect knowledge of all situations and all variables within those situations. And they do it in the defense of a system that has trained them to be loyal stooges. Okay? Train them to always want the system to be in place, to believe, we just need to tweak it a little bit here and there, grow it a little bit here. Humanity is almost completely tinkered with and adjusted and all that's there. All the inequities of the world soon will be gone. We just need a couple of trillion more and shut you up and shut them up. And we're going to teach only this and just indoctrinate people and turn them into absolute fucking monsters. But they don't have a grasp. They don't have a grasp on a lot of things, especially history. No real grasp on any real history outside of Hitler was the worst person who ever lived. The Civil War was fought to free the slaves. Okay? The Civil War the slaves whose progeny are now in a very large sense trapped on welfare, along with millions of white slaves now. So I guess the slavery quotient leveled itself out. Talk about government-induced equity. Good for that. Now, I don't reject the idea that critical infrastructure for things like nuclear facilities need to be maintained. The question is, who does it? I reject the idea that all responsibilities for things like that need to be decentralized. And I support the idea. I reject the idea that it needs to be centralized by the federal government. Outside of it being blatantly unconstitutional, it's just illogical. I love when you're throwing away 30,000 people who were fired at the federal government. Where do you think these 30,000 people came from? 30,000 here, 400 people laid off here. Everybody's, clutching their pearls and all that stuff about that. The people with skills to take on jobs like running a nuclear facility in one place or another, where would they come from? They would come from the states. The federal workforce didn't just congeal in a gutter somewhere on K Street. The people come from the states. You don't have a colony in Washington D.C. that is, women are just birthing future federal workers. Keep these interests in the states. Take care of business in your respective states, in state bureaus. So it's a very rare occasion when people make the connection between the centralization of a power and the seizing of a local responsibility and, of course, the subsequent mutation of that power. That's why we had NASA that had turned its gaze from space, whatever the hell you think that was worth in the first place. NASA, who turned its gaze from space and was repurposed to fight against the climate. So I don't need to assume perfect knowledge over a situation to be right on these things. That's why principles and liberty are very easy and consistent enough to apply without having to be a brain surgeon. You know, there you go. The appeal to authority and throwing academic pedigree in my face like these people do. But not only that, but you also don't sacrifice the ability for society to be able to act and to respond when a solution for a specific problem is needed. There's actually more options when government is out of the way. You know, that would be very hard for someone to grasp if they believe that arts and sciences will just go away if we're not bastardizing it with federal grants, or someone who believes that the mystery of the roads. Did we even have roads or any incentive to pave roads until the 20th century? Where did the roads come from? Oh, they were invented by government. Nobody had roads until government. You know, and as far as emergencies goes, I'm pretty sure that many citizens in North Carolina and East Tennessee would have loved for anyone but FEMA to have showed up. But you can't get through to people anymore. That's the whole thing. You can't get through to people. You just can't do it. Let's see here. Take another call. Oh, well, King is calling in. What's going on, King?
Hey, how you doing, my friend?
I'm all right.
Hey, so on your break there, you had Adam Sandler, and that I've been wanting to tell this story on your show for a long time, but I didn't know when it would be appropriate. But you showed Adam Sandler, so I got a great Adam Sandler story for you.
Okay.
If that's it. And it kind of lightened the mood a little bit. You know what I mean? So it won't be so dark, and maybe people get a little chuckle out of it.
Okay.
So I was in construction for 20 years, as people know. I wasn't like a fly-by-night transient claiming to be a construction worker like others, but I digress. So when I'd be on job sites, we would do business with these electricians. And I'm not going to mention names, and I'm not going to mention the name of the electrical company because I don't want to get nobody in trouble to this day. So Adam Sandler's father was part owner of an electrical company out of New Hampshire. And I was talking to these guys that we did business with on a job site one time, and they was like, oh yeah, we remember that little annoying fuck. We couldn't stand him. So when you're in construction and sometimes you're on a job site, sometimes you go to owners' houses and work for free, not on your dime, but on the company's dime, you understand? You're not working for free, but the company's eating it as a favor.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So these electricians, you know, they'd be like, yeah, we'd go to the Sandler's house, and this little fuck, he was so annoying. We'd be in his house trying to, do work, and he'd constantly be annoying us, and we'd beat the living shit out of him.
They beat the hell out of Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Well.
He's like, he'd be until it got to a point, and they'd be like, all right, fuck this. And they would beat the snot out of him. But to Adam Sandler's credit, he never ratted them out, and he took his beatings like a man.
Wow. Oh, I got a lot
right here. Right hand to God, that is a true fucking story. No word of a lie.
Well, if I ever meet him one day, I'll say, hey, you know, I heard that you used to get the shit kicked out of you by construction crews, and I'm just so happy. We're just proud of you for never ratting.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
Pretty much.
It'd be good coffee table talk.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. So wait, no, but
yeah.
So you never saw it yourself, but you had people with firsthand knowledge.
No. I never saw it personally. This was relayed to me by the electricians that actually did work in their house.
Gotcha.
And they were like, yeah, we couldn't stand that fuck. He was so annoying. He was always bothering us, and he got us to a point where he just had to beat the shit out of him.
Wow. And it wasn't like a playful wrestling match kind of a thing.
Oh, no. It was like fucking, really, pal? Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't like we put the boss's head in a noogie.
No.
Okay.
No, to his credit, this guy took some real beatings.
All righty. All right. Well, there you go. There you go. There's character building for you. Thanks for the call, King.
Yes, sir.
There you go. All right, everybody. Actually, that could have been a nice, pleasant celebrity story that we can do next week. Just remember that next week when we're talking about pleasant celebrity stories, or I guess it wasn't pleasant for the celebrity before he was a celebrity. All right. So, I got something over here I think is pretty interesting. We can get around to. We'll take a couple more calls, and I want to get to this clip of Kevin O'Leary on CNN, I think last night. 424, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, buddy, it's Hollywood Carlos.
Hey.
Excuse me, Hollywood Carlos.
What's going on, Carlos? How you been?
I'm good. Well, yeah, life challenges, but listening to the show today, or watching the show today, I thought about a couple things, and I'll be quick. But
Take your
first,
time.
I've been meaning to tell you this for a while. One of the callers earlier had, you'd asked him how he'd heard of the show. And I heard of you, I think, right around the beginning of COVID, or maybe right before it. And I remember, it's already getting embittered by all the BLM crap. Yeah, it was in 2020. Just the wokeism was coming out, all that stuff, right? And so I was looking at alternative shows to get my info from, to be entertained. And I had stumbled upon you. I don't remember how. No one recommended it. I think you might have just shown up on YouTube.
Wow.
That's right. And
that's a rare story in itself.
No, I know, and I keep forgetting to tell you. And so, but this is the funny part, and it's going to sound mean, but it's not now, obviously. But I listened to you for a week, and I'm like, what the? I didn't know you were a variety show, because it was the beginning. You were going on all the beautiful eccentric topics that you go into and whatnot. So what the fuck is this shit? And I got so mad because I couldn't find a great source, and then I came back to you relatively quickly, and obviously I'm a loyal subscriber, loyal listener, the whole thing. And it just got me thinking about how I cannot go to sleep at night until I have watched your show. It could be 8:00 at night in California. It could be 2 a.m. I have to listen to you every single day in order for me to feel centered. Isn't that wild?
It
From
is.
like, what is this thing? And then here I am where I can't live without you.
Dude, you know what? First of all, I appreciate it. And it's something that there is a reciprocal nature to all of that obviously is different because I'm from the broadcasting end, but I do receive so much from the audience in the energy coming back. And because there is something very cosmically significant about me going about my business. So it's 8:25 p.m. right now. In an hour from now, I will be home. I will be uploading the show onto the podcast platforms. I will be getting some things in order. I'll be kicking back just a couple of, for that last hour I have with Lauren before she goes to bed. And then when she's in bed, I'm just kind of like milling around and it's the only couple of hours at the end of the day that I'm not completely consumed by what I have to do at 7:00. And whether or not it's good and up to par and all that other stuff, and considering the experience of someone like you guys and anybody else out there, and I have a couple of those hours, and I feel every once in a while there are waves of different. I don't know. It's just energy because I know that whatever the hell I'm doing at that point, whatever I'm doing at that point, someone like you is listening to the show. Many people like you are listening to the shows in their own little way, and the fact that I'm still technically talking to a lot of people while I'm just chilling out at home and trying to bring myself down into some kind of a Zen state. It is very it's a strange thing, but there's always a connection, and there's always strange. It's like tides. The tides coming in.
Yeah, I would think of it this way. We always talk about the multiverse and dimensions and that whole thing. And recently I've been thinking, oh my God, we're in a multiverse. While you're expressing what you're saying now, what you're doing, I'm doing it even hours later, oftentimes, because it's after midnight, after my day's done. And it's like, and it's alive. It's like in that moment, for me, it's as if I'm really in the moment when you're live broadcasting, if that makes sense. And it's like, maybe that's the multiverse.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I would love to get more into that for sure. I mean, last night I didn't even try to go to sleep until about 2 a.m. I don't know. I just had so much going through my mind. I said, I'm not even going to lay in. Why I'm going to lay in bed and just look at the ceiling. So I stayed awake and just tried to keep myself busy somehow. And I don't know. Maybe tonight I'll have a little bit better time there. But it's good. I do feel that connection. It's ethereal. There's a little bit less.
Ethereal for sure. But it's comforting at the same time. It's
absolutely
comforting at the same time.
Well, it's comforting.
I was going to give you a Hollywood update, but we've been talking a lot on this, which is a great conversation. I'm happy to table it, but I just thought I'd give you a quick Hollywood update.
Go ahead.
On what's on the behind the scenes of what's going on in the wake of this Trump cyclone that I obviously am excited about, but it will entail me sharing something very personal. It's about me and in relation to it all, but it speaks to the bigger picture of what's going on behind the scenes in Hollywood in the wake of the COVID lockdowns and then the writer's strike that lasted a year and all the nonsense with the wokeism. Number one is, well, for me, look, I'm facing eviction. I lost my car last fall. It's very competitive to try to find work in Hollywood right now. There's so many of us some people say that it's probably about 50% of Hollywood executives are in the same boat. I had 3 conversations today with different execs who are in the same boat as I am. And I'm sharing it not to be, it's not about getting, woe is me, none of that stuff. It's just, I thought, if it helps someone else to know that if someone else out there listening is going through the same thing. And, I'm 53 years old. I've been self-sustaining since I was 14. Don't need to get into that, but finally in fucking 2018, excuse me for the kids that are listening, I get to be really financially well off, making mid 6 figures after, by the way, a 20-year plus go at it, right? And in 2019, I'm finally fully debt-free, no credit card debt, no college debt, and I'm able to put money away for a year, and I put in an offer March of the week that the lockdowns were announced. I put down an offer for my first $1 million home. I'm doing out. And by the way, sounds fancy. It's not. In LA, $1 million home is what probably, most people pay for a huge estate in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And the lockdowns happen, all this crap. My salaries get cut, and I dwindle down that sort of spiral out. And so many of us are in that state, right? And it's as a result of all this in my opinion, all the stuff that's going on the left, particularly in Hollywood for us. And I asked questions today of these executives. So how is everyone reacting to the Social Security stuff, to everything we're listening? And can you believe everyone, on the whole, they are still in denial. They think there's a writer client of one of my buddies who is blaming Trump for there not being enough television production this season. Last year, there were 3 pilots done. Pilot season is, January to April, the broadcast networks. Usually there's about 200 pilots that get shot. And about half of those get picked up to production, and then another half of that ends up getting greenlit. And there were 3 pilots last year. This is in the wake of the writer's strike. So, and it doesn't just affect us, the writers and the talent and the representatives and the attorneys. It also affects the caterers and hospitality and all that stuff down, all the way down. And so many of us are hurting, and these people still manage to somehow not see that it has nothing to do with Trump and that what he's doing right now is really helping us. I just cannot believe how disconnect. And by the way, the scripts, you would think they would be, doing an about face, a 180. Oh, no. If anything, I think they're getting even more woke. And so do my colleagues I was talking to today. I literally am facing eviction. Tomorrow, I've got a 24-hour deadline, and woke up today crying because I'm like, I can't believe I'm 53. This is going on, and I think, and by the way, when I cry, it's not because I'm sad. It's because I get so angry that the only way to get it out is, I start crying. And you think all the money that these illegals have been getting in their accounts. I know some of them. The thousands of dollars they get a month.
Well, Carlos,
I get, I applied for it. Sorry, go ahead.
No. It's just what you're saying is not. It's probably not going to shock a lot of people. I didn't think, like, when I heard, for example, when that Hollywood, that Hollywood attaché But that group was put together with Mel Gibson and whoever the hell else. So you're going to go to Hollywood as an ambassadors on behalf of the. I said that is just something that I knew was.
It's not going to do anything. I'll tell you right now. Mel's agent was one of my former partners. I know all those people. It's not going to do a damn thing. Not in Hollywood. So
the real question is, and I understand what you're saying. There's probably a lot of people in this audience right now in their respective fields that may be wondering how the hell they can dig themselves out of a similar hole where they have to. It's later on in your career and you have to start over from scratch.
So many of us.
So then what the hell? What do you do when your career woes are attached to an industry that is being dragged down by blind, crazy assholes? Like, for example, it's really just. I know a lot of people up at the top have insulated themselves. They have they get money from God knows where. But I mean, if you're passionate,
if you're rich and all that stuff, that's a different conversation. But most of us are not.
Right. I understand. So I mean, I would start. I don't know what the hell you can do.
Well, I know what I'm doing, and many people are. There are people who literally heads of divisions or companies are driving Uber. Many have moved back home to their, with their 80, 90-year-old parents. Many like me face eviction and are literally homeless. Like it's the gambit ones. It's like every possible horror you can expect. For me, luckily, particularly in the wake of when AI started getting introduced, I started paying attention and training myself in the whole thing. And I'm actually working to get a certificate to be an AI generalist, through Google and Harvard certificate programs, because A, I'm upskilling, but also B, I got to do something. And, short of applying at Dollar General, it's not beneath me. It's just after 30 plus years of being, working at what I do and being an expert and a leader in it, I just didn't want to give up.
Well, Carlos, it's your testimony is one that I think is it's very valuable from a couple different standpoints, and I thank you for coming out here and spilling your heart on it.
Sure,
because it is good to see. I mean, it's valuable to see just how it's very hard for us to take the temperature on these things aside from watching what's being still put out there and the quality of the messages that are being put out during the award shows. And I mean, even the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live, which is very, very hit and miss. I mean, I
pretty bad.
I was
in my opinion.
Oh man, terrible. But the thing is, I don't know. There's a lot of people who are starting over from scratch in a number of different industries, and this is one where it needs to. There needs to be a new location.
New system, but it's going to take decades for that new system. That's the truth. And then you have AI on our tails, which it really is affecting many of us. So a new thing needs to be birthed. And by the way, there are many things that are being birthed, but it's going to take a second. It's going to come down to the consumers, because if the audiences continue to sort of, quietly boycott by not consuming the content, then that's the one thing that'll force it to move along.
But
the system still has its grips in everything. I'm hopeful that what Trump is doing is truly, hopefully, it does something. But I want to end this on a positive note, which is, and I spent my day hustling even harder, figure this out, because again, I have 24 hours, and I prayed to God throughout the whole day. I get emotional because I get so angry. You're 53 and I'm a guy, it's like, you're mad, who wants to be a man at 53 facing this shit, right? Thank God I don't have a family only in that regard. But the positive ending is that I think I've resolved it and at least got me through to where I can avoid being evicted tomorrow by paying the minimums of what I owe. And I pray to God all day long, and I said, just keep my ego out of it. Just keep my ego out of it. Sorry.
You don't have to apologize. Hey, you don't have to apologize.
By the way, you know what I thought today? I thought, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to pay Frank's monthly. And by the way, it's the only subscription that is still on my card. Hopefully the next one it just goes. No, I'm not saying I'm just saying that
Right off the
At
bat,
this
I mean,
point, I've let go of the wheel.
yeah. Well,
You know what I'm saying?
Carlos, when you're a situation like you're in, I mean, I should be one of the first cuts you make, no doubt about it. I mean, you're not.
When you're part of my sanity, I mean, I really meant.
I'm here. The show. Don't make it. Well,
I know. But
I don't want to make this about me.
I don't want to take.
I understand, but the show's free. Monday through Friday, I'm here. We're doing a show. Call in, be a part of it. When you're back on your feet, I'm right back here, and if you really wanted to sponsor again, I'd be more than happy to have you as a supporter. But you've already done.
Well, that may
more
not
than
have
enough.
to happen because I prayed to God, and I think I know I got the answer, and I know I'm going to be fine because it's coming through. It's and so the moral of the story is pray and give it up, and maybe it works out.
Well, I mean, you brought us on one hell of a ride here, and we do hope. I mean, I can speak on probably a lot of people. I hope that you pull through and just keep me up to date.
I'm pulling
And
through. It's good. By the way,
good.
It really is miraculous. Like I actually have potentially 2 offers on the table, including the truck that I was putting up that I bought. Side jobs.
Why didn't you put this up? I mean, right to the very end, it sounded like it was like the ceiling was falling in. Why didn't you tell us this
It
up
was
front?
falling. I literally have 24 hours, and I'm going to be able to pay up tomorrow. Thank God. But like, it came in just in the nick of time.
Okay, during this phone call.
Right before this phone call.
Jeez.
Right before this phone call.
My God,
I was listening.
You know what? Next time, Carlos, you should say. By the way, something miraculous just happened to me. That's how you opened up the phone call.
I know, but you answered. I didn't. I literally.
Okay.
I clicked. You're on my speed dial. I click. It rang once. You picked up. I wasn't ready.
And either way, listen. Thank you for the industry insights. I'm pulling for you. I hope you're well, and keep it all going, and keep me in the loop there because it's.
Thank you for the extra time you gave me tonight.
No problem. No problem. I'm not going to hang up on a friend in distress, but thank you, Carlos, and I hope that all's well. Yeah. Should have led it with the hey, a miracle just came through there because that was one hell of a ride, wasn't it? Anyway, yeah, no, there's obviously nothing that's going to change with them in that industry. Is it going to bottom out though? No, it's going to bottom out for little people. Production assistants, caterers, like Carlos was saying there. It's going to bottom out until there is some major investments done in new ventures and new studios. So I hope that is what the Hollywood whatchamacallits, the ambassadors are really all about. How can you make a new Hollywood? So, all right, Sentinel, go ahead.
Good evening, Frank. Are you sick of winning yet?
Oh, well, it's been a lot of fun. I've had one hell of a time this year so far.
Yeah, me too. And I just keep on browsing to the TV every time I watch a win. So a couple things I want to talk about is the first one. We saw the outrage over the weekend with the Social Security Administration and all these buckets of age groups that are drawing Social Security, and there's millions of people that are eligible, is what they say. And it reminded me to think about, it was June 5th of 2020 that the last eligible survivor of a Civil War veteran died, and we were paying her for 90 years a pension of $76 a month. And there were 42 Spanish American War survivors that were still paying. Mexican War survivors, there were still 6 as of 2017.
These are
survivors.
These are legitimate.
Yeah, legitimate dependents that were eligible to draw a pension based upon their parents.
Okay, so there was
through the VA.
There was in 2020. There was somebody out there that was still legally drawing $76 of pension money from what was an ancestor's service in the Civil War.
Yes.
Okay.
She was a triplet, a surviving triplet from her father, who she was born in 1910, and he was an elderly man and still had children.
Wow.
Yeah. So there may be people who are under SSI available for a Social Security number that's over 100 years old. But I doubt there's anybody that's 370 years old.
No, and Sentinel, we're not talking about 30 million people either.
Right, yeah, that's a ridiculous freaking number.
I mean, what you just said right there, I'm really interested in the statistics that you just rolled out right there, because that is interesting. I mean, that's interesting. Like, I think he might be dead now, but maybe about 5 to 10 years ago, we were still tracking the son of John Tyler's last remaining son or grandchild. I forget what it was, like a grandchild of the 10th president, John Tyler.
Oh yes, I had that story pulled up here.
Yeah, there were some very, very late births in that line, and it was actually up until just a few years ago, one of his, I think, grandchildren, right, that were still alive.
Yeah, he had 15 children and fathered some late in life.
Yeah,
his living grandchildren weren't born until 1920s.
Yeah, that makes sense. So there was a couple left about 10 years ago or whatever the hell it was, and that was just really, I love hearing about stuff like that. That's beyond bar trivia. That's just really cool. But you know, that accounts for a very slim minority of what we're talking about with Social Security.
Oh yeah, totally slim minority.
So well, thank you for that, sir.
Yeah, I had one other thing to mention that I may have missed you talking about, but I thought it was very interesting. And that was that over the weekend, Ukraine had flown some drones over Chernobyl, and there had been some kind of an explosion, and they did tests, and the radiation level was normal. And it's like mind-blowing. And then Molly had to remind me that she'd heard something about some kind of fungus that eats that, or bioagent that eats and digests the radiation and makes the ground normative. And, you know, if that's true, why aren't we using that here for our nuclear waste?
I've heard a lot of different theories about Chernobyl and whatever, and tracking the wildlife out there, how nature has completely retaken over all of the structures and stuff, and the wolves, and it's something to consider, and whether there is some kind of a natural way that the half-life was halved. I don't know. There's a lot of people out there who believe that the whole thought of radioactivity is bullshit, and nothing was ever. There's never a problem out there to begin with. So, but I tend to take a look at what these places look like decades after the fact, and it looks like a very peaceful, albeit spooky place right now. You know, very green, plenty of wildlife. All the deer they still have, you know, they have one head. They don't have like 3 heads or anything like that. So I don't know, little things I take note of over time.
It is, and I do think that we would probably have a lot better electric grid if we expanded nuclear. So
I probably agree with you on that, because what I have learned over the years is how exceptionally clean it actually is. So, and until we're allowed to consider anything that is even more productive, then who knows? Stable, safe, free. That'd be nice too. I got this Kevin O'Leary thing. I thought it was really good, but I don't know. We can. It's already 8:15. Let's take a really quick break. When we come back, we'll take some more of your calls. Conspiracy.
Who's that nifty new dreamboat that has the dollies flipping their lid? It's Frankie! That's right. Join your Made in the Shade host of Quite Frankly. Quite Frankly streams live Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 Eastern, and everywhere you find your favorite podcast. Goose it on over. For everything else, it's quitefrankly.tv.
Frankie! Woo! Woo! Woo!
So we made a robot here,
Tesla Labs. Got pretty weird. Robot became self-aware and began eating people. Yeah, got very weird. Killer robot got out, escaped the lab. It will kill us all. It's going to kill us all. We've got a week to live. Week and a half, maybe. So use your time wisely, I would say. Watch Spaceballs. Great movie. Spaceballs. May the Schwartz be with you. So, Happy New Year. This is the last one. Yeah, we're all going to die. Yeah, we're all going to die.
And tomorrow night we'll read it. Let's see. Over on Rumble, we have a couple of Rumble rants. Let's do that. Stephen Ellis says 4.7 trillion divided by 340 million Americans is 13,800 per person. So 40,000 for Mr. and Mrs. Frankly and the chicken nugget. Okay, well, Stephen, I guess I'm used to, trying to divide up the paltry sums that are counted in tens of millions and sometimes even billions. And that comes out to almost nothing compared to 4.7 trillion. But there's also one thing that you have to account for. Like I said, 340 million people are not paying taxes. Now, Grok said that there's about 163 million taxpayers, but I don't know. I don't think 50% of the country pays taxes. I think it's something like 47, 48%. I don't know about that. I don't know where you can get a good number, but so if it is that $13,800 per person out of $4.7 trillion comes out when you spread it over 340 million people, then get me a little bit more of an accurate number there per taxpayer. And that's nice. Everybody can go, oh man, you can go and open up a Roth IRA and start your real savings. Start your real savings and maximize your contributions every year. Something. Stephen Ellis, thank you so much. Okay, the anti-pop says, put this toward Carlos's subscription. Oh, anti-pop, thank you very much. Carlo, now I got to bridge the gap between you guys. Well, Carlos, like I said, anybody out there who's in a situation where you're in a very, very big transition, I understand the kind of bond that you have with this show, because I know the bond I have with this show and the people who are connected to it. And I've had so many amazing interactions with you all over the years, and we've been able to make this what it is. But as I've told many of you who have gone through different phases in your life, hey, I'm transitioning into a new body. I'm going into a new job. We're moving. Got a new baby coming. Whatever the heck is going on. Listen, you don't have to apologize or explain anything. You do what you got to do, and whenever things, I only want people to support if they can, and whatever they're comfortable, whatever level they're comfortable at, and I believe it always works out after a while. It always does. So that's very nice of you, Antipop. Maybe I'll get you in touch with Carlos, and you can hash it out and say hi to each other, whatever the hell it is. Let me see. Another one over on Pilled, the Sentient. Thank you. Purposeful again. Rook Castle says that's for the Trump Bucks comment from before. All right. We have a little bit more left in this show. Just a little bit. Not enough to watch the Kevin O'Leary thing, unless we do. We'll take a couple more calls. First one up is Katie from Texas. What's going on, Katie?
Hi, Frank. I can't believe I got through.
You got through. How you feeling tonight?
Okay. I mean, I've had better days, but I thought I was going to call in and that would put me in a better mood.
Okay. Well, I won't. I'm very tempted to ask what's wrong, but that could be personal. So, okay, better mood.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, you were talking about how we get through to like the people on the other side. And sorry, I'm losing my breath because I'm nervous. But I reconnected with a friend today. I reached out to somebody that I hadn't talked to in years because of politics, right?
Oh, man.
And I reached out, just to say hi and stuff. And in our 3-hour-long conversation, we argued for like 2.5 hours about politics. And there was like yelling and but we came through on the other side in a better place. And, he has a lot more understanding and he's not quite so judgmental anymore. And so I think the key is really just, communication with people and just patience and trying to understand where they're coming from as well.
So, okay. So you spent some time not talking to this friend of yours. Politics was the issue. You reached out, you say, you know what? Life's too short. I want to see what's up with them. And you link back up and a 3-hour conversation ensues and 2.5 hours of it is revisiting the same old, or was it a, hey, we have to hash this out? And I don't know. That must have been a little like, oh man, at any point over the 2.5 hours, did you regret even doing that?
Oh my God, yes. I went through many different phases. I was like, I'm about to hang up on this fool. There was a point where I was yelling at him. I'm like, you need to calm down.
This was over the phone. It was over the phone. You know what? Good for you. Good for you for picking up the phone and actually calling somebody. Naturally, now I just assume that everybody's just texting each other for 3 hours.
Oh no. Well, I texted him and then he called.
Okay.
And but then I went through a phase of like, all right, I'm just going to finish this conversation and I'm not going to talk to him anymore. But then by the end of the conversation, like we're in a good place. We're going to meet up for lunch next week, and I think I really got through to him on some things. And I'm going to look into some things that he was talking to me about.
Oh yeah, like what did he assign to you? Give us one example.
Well, like Bernie Sanders, he was like, just look at his voting record, Katie. Just look at his voting record. And yes, I brought up the 1.5 million in pharmaceutical donations, but I was like, fine, I'll look at his voting record.
Okay, I can look at his voting record too if you want.
Go for it.
I can take a look at that. So that'll be fun. Yeah. So what you should do is never mind. The real question is, what are you going? Just prioritize. What's the good things? What are the good things that just can't be destroyed by this, by politics? What are the things about the relationship that can't be destroyed by that? And just focus on that over the lunch. Just don't,
Well, he eventually said he wanted to do a podcast with me. Like he wanted to start a podcast with me to talk about politics. And I was like, that would be very, very draining.
It's draining. Let me tell you. It's very draining. This is why you have to rotate. You have to rotate your crops because and especially if you start a podcast with the whole idea that you're going to have a co-host and you guys are going to take adversarial sides on everything. You have to be like, I don't know, like soulmates in some respect to ever be able to survive 10 episodes because what are you going to do?
I barely survived this conversation.
Well,
not yours and mine, but mine and his.
Well, one way or another, I give you a lot of credit for, like I said, seizing the moment and not letting life go by without, just trying to keep friends close and try to keep things civil. So I hope that your lunch goes well. I do.
Thank you, and I love your show. And hi, everybody, and have a good night.
Absolutely, and maybe perhaps get a taste tester for your food. Or just be back there and watch the chefs cook everything.
Oh, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all.
I'll go in a very neutral shirt.
That's it. Oh, is it really like that over there in Texas? In your part of Texas?
Oh, yeah. In Austin, for sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wherever cities are, they say. But thanks again. This is your first time calling into the show?
It is, yes. I'm a moderate time listener and first time caller. I screwed that one up.
Great. Well, hey, okay. First of many, 2025, new things.
Yeah.
All righty then. Have a good one.
You too.
There you go. Katie is going and not letting the politics keep people apart. Not going to let it happen. Not at all. Good for her. Well, you know what? Thank you guys for being out there and doing a little bit more of open forum, open line style thing here tonight. We have some stuff that I want to show you for this evening. Right after we're done, right here in 2 minutes from now on quitefrankly.tv. We have some wonderful after-hours programming for you. TruthStream Media is up front. There's no such thing as democracy without free speech. Oh, we harp on that all the time. And TruthStream does such a great job. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. I have not seen this one yet. Timothy Gordon, Pope Francis hospitalized, condition worsens. Tucker Carlson interviews Jeffrey Sachs. Cultivate, Elevate. Is winter real? Is winter real? NPCs, bird flu, and vitamins rabbit hole. Taylor Welsh with Dr. Michael Coccini, The Fall of Solomon. And then we have a Tao Te Ching audiobook at the end. No Art Bell tonight. It's fine. Good. To hell with it. Overnight stuff, a little bit of culture for you, and take a listen to it. Enjoy yourself in the chat room, and go ahead, go at it. Tomorrow night will be great. Marley Hornick is on. I have a lot of fantastic things to ask her, and you're really going to be wowed by what information has been gathered since the November election. For those of you out there who believe that, all of a sudden everybody thinks that elections are legitimate again. No. You're going to be wowed by what has been collected since November. And it affects far more. She's expanded far more outside the bounds of New York. It's all over the place. We're going to be asking the big questions, and maybe even taking some of your calls to ask your own questions about, methodology and everything else. So be on the lookout for it. That's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. I appreciate you all. Did I leave anything out? Nope. Yeah, we bounced around tonight, but it's okay. I got some things off my chest, and away we go. Oh, thank you, Todd Fife. Wow, every once in a while I look down in the Rockfin, and there's Todd Fife. Not very many other people, but Todd Fife is chilling all by himself in the Rockfin chat room. See you tomorrow, everybody. Go over to quitefrankly.tv. Become a sponsor. Remember, all this month, we're sending Lauren and Aurora. We're putting together many of your new welcome packages for becoming a sponsor, and for the rest of the month, they're going to be doing the same. What is it? The bubble packages with all of the movie themed stuff. It does not matter. You sign up right now. You get the link to the Interstellar Movie Club session that you get to watch on your own, and you get ready for the next one that comes up in April. Which one is it going to be? I have a couple of ideas. It's going to be a lot of fun, though. April and May. Maybe we'll do 2 in May, so one of them can be public. But become a sponsor, ladies and gents, and all the best to you and yours. We will be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Now on to After Hours.
I'll catch you on the flip.